Well, well. Surprise, surprise. There's actually more than you can see there. That's sort of a bit of a... Just more than you can see in this photo, really speaking. On the other side there, you can see the little black lid with a star. There's a whole bunch of dehydrated spring onion in jars in a big line there. There's probably about 8 of them. We've got a whole bunch of pickled eggs there. You can't really see. Blocked up by this line of red and yellows. The 2 lines of red and yellows, which are all stewed plums. And then there's a line of jam. And some more. Another 4 jars of pickled eggs again. And a few more of stewed plums again. Interesting how they turn out perfectly yellow, perfectly red. I try to keep the colours fairly consistent between what we're picking, but didn't always work out like that. But anyway, here we go. Red, yellow, red. And then the stuff you can see there, that's all rhubarb. And of course, more pickled eggs because, it's something stupid here. There's something crazy. It's like 11 dozen eggs or something like that. In the taller jars, you can see the smaller lids, the number 3s, 3-inch lids, or 3-inch opening in the top. I get about 14 eggs in those on average. And I can't really tell you, but I think it's about 10 or 12 in the other wider, shorter ones here. So, aside from the jam, and there's some more jam too, that about a third of it, the lids didn't really quite work, even though we used new lids, because we sort of, over tightened a little bit and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway, we've got a bit of stuff here. So long and short of it, I've been up at my sister's place. There'll be a couple of videos just showing some of the basic improvements and all of that, some of the extras that have been built up and whatnot from when we were there last, and a bit of a walk through the veggie garden and a bit of a look at the part of the orchard, not all of it. I might do a bit of a sweep through of a whole ton of photos of different fruit trees that they got down there, one of which I don't even know what the hell it even is. It might not even be a fruit. But apparently, according to a Russian wife of one of their friends, it's some sort of thing. To me, it looks like a giant cotton Easter with... Yeah, some of you might know. But, yeah, there's just a hell of a lot of stuff in general. Here's some of that stuff I was talking about. Dehydrated onion. That one on the bottom, that's dehydrated cherry plums. We used a cherry pitter or olive pitter to get all the damn seeds out. I ran these things so long, and some of them are still soft. I put a blimmin' one of those dehydration, the silica gel packs into those this morning, because when you have high blood pressure, some brands actually include that in a sealed thing in with the pills, even though the pills themselves are sealed in a blister pack. So, yeah, on occasion I'm coming across these things without even needing to buy any food. And have a guess if you know what that is. It's not a pressure canner. I don't know if Fowler's Vicola is... who really runs it. I suspect it's a British company, but it's a slightly different system, but the same concept as ball mason jars, except they are freaking markedly bigger. I mean, they're bloody enormous. Put like this. There's different names, and I think they're fluid ounces or there's something. But the ones you can see, the taller ones there with the smaller lids, they're 27s, and these other ones in the front here, they're 31s. And they have 3 and 4 inches, and there's one jar I've got that's got a discontinued one, which is a 4 1/4 inch, but I've only got one jar of that. That's your normal jam jars there. And sitting against the 27s there, the 27s are significantly wider. Your ball mason jars, these blow the bloody pants off them by 2 or 3 times the size in many cases. I've got a little cat here that's, purring away. I tell you what, God blimey, first night I come back from about a week and a half away, she's trying to get her face against my face to sleep, and I wasn't having it, and she wasn't giving up either. And it got kind of annoying, and it got, pillow over the face, because I know if I breathe in her breath all night, which happened one time before, when she had on the head right up close to mine, you wake up with a blooming sore throat because of breathing in whatever the cat's breathing out. Anyway, that's the original box for this one, and brother-in-law got a heap of jars when he was going to another town. He was in that area doing other stuff anyway, and bought a heap of jars, and they just threw this one in with it. So I got this off the sister for $50, which didn't really even cost me $50 because I'd been doing some gardening work for her at the other house that they intermittently stay at. Great-grandparents' house is what I call it, because it's really what it was. It's still owned by my dad's cousin, so... Anyway, this is beautiful background. This is just me taking a few on the car as I'm taking them out. You can see the jam jar there, standard jar there with the big 31 behind it, and you're 27 to the left there. You can actually see the numbers. 27. I really don't know what it is. I think it's fluid ounces of capacity. And it's 27 too. I meant to put extra spices in with these eggs, but I mean, it's just literally 2 cups of vinegar to 1 cup of water. And some of them have got a little bit of salt and sugar, and one's got salt, and some of them are just plain bloody water. But it's a Jerusalem artichoke. These were very small compared to what they like. I've got a whole bunch of frozen ones she also gave me because, it's about 2 or 3 out of the family of 5 that won't eat the damn things, and we'll keep 1 pack for ourselves. Here you go, bang, and I come back with a polystyrene box full of them. I got a decent amount, and the ones in those are the full-grown ones, but they've had a bit of a stalled season this year, and they had a frost in the start of summer, and it killed all their potatoes. Some are resprouted, depending on the variety. Others haven't. They had these Jerusalem artichoke, and they would have thought that they went bigger than they did, but like a lot of these things about the size of my thumb or less, some of the size of the end of my index finger, some are bloody hopeless, but if I was willing to dig them up, I could have them, so that's what I've done. And you can see with these ones, I've got them in, I think it's cumin powder, and there's a bit of coriander in there, and there's whole peppercorns, and this one I've got, I don't know if you even see a picture of it, I actually got a bunch of kohlrabi in the top of it. So that's what it looked like. That's me back seat. This is a huge box I got from the Steel Bar Company. I mean, friggin' massive. They're going to throw it in the bin and said, fuck that, I'll have it. But look at the size of it. What the hell did... Stuffed up there and hit something wrong. Yeah. So this here, buck of this bloody thing. That's all the jars there. There was a few still in the boot/trunk. It's hard to sort of convey it, but that's the entire width of the back seat of the car. And I mean, you've literally got, about 4 inches either side of the door to close this thing. It's bloody enormous on a whole nother scale, this box. So yeah, I had the middle seat belt I wrapped over the damn thing, but everything with a lid on it there has stuff in it, so that gives you a bit of an idea of what it's like. Now the jam was all can't remember if it was in this. I think it was in the front row there on the right side. Anyway, it's a bloody lot of jam. Oh, that's strange stuff that she had, which bit of a trouble. A lot of these pickling recipes call for 5%. I've never seen this, but she bought the 8%, which is a common brand. It's a store brand. That's the little funny symbol on the bottom left corner there. And most of what I could get was 4% acidity, and all the recipes call for 5%, so you got to do a whole heap of bloody maths, which is damn annoying. Oh yeah, that's oldest niece holding a salad onion. I don't know if my fingers convey the size of this thing. It was bloody ridiculously big. Oh, and there's just someone else you get to see at a later point. Anyway, that gives you a bit of an overview on it all. I come back from this, and this morning I had a sabbatical cyst cut out from my back. It's basically about 15 years ago I had one cut out from my face by a plastic surgeon. It's like a blocked sweat gland. Now, I didn't think this thing was going to be very big. I really didn't even think it was not even 3/8 of an inch. He cut this thing out. It was like a bloody egg-shaped eyeball. It was frickin' huge. So I got this big, cutting me back this morning, and the nurses in this joint, honestly, they're bloody useless. I had to do a urine sample once, and I said I haven't drank enough stuff this morning, and had half a cup of coffee. So they give me a cup of water to drink. 20 seconds later, right, can you piss now? What do you think, I'm a bloody garden hose or something? I mean, God blimey, it's like a minimum of 5 or 10 minutes for it to even come out the other side. 20 seconds later, so they gave me this dressing. Well, they didn't give it to me. They put it on me back. Didn't shave me back, so they just whacked it on a whole bunch of back hair. Oh, this should last 12 days, but tell us if it does. It didn't even last the afternoon. I ended up getting my father to put another dressing on after shaving around the stitches on my back, and that's the one I've got on right now. This damn thing was like a bit of blooming thin layer of like cotton wool sheet with this adhesive that was so-called waterproof that I'm not joking. It was like blooming Glad wrap, like that plastic film you put over your bowls before you put them in the fridge. It's the most rubbish dressing I've seen in my damn life. But anyway, I'm not really able to put my hands above my head and all this sort of crap for a week, or for 2 weeks really. So that's going to screw a few things up in getting some of the projects around here done. So we're going to be finding other things to do, which won't be much. Also, I've had a bit of stuff come out about family history, which is, you hear some stories and then you hear the full story, and oh wow, it's intriguing. So it seems I'm about 3.6% of particular minority group that, the conspiracy theories on them are just incredible. Funny, disinformation. You can't say a bad word about the people in Israel, right? Or that old guy who keeps appearing on TV and goes like sniffing everyone. The latest meme I saw is sniffing aliens. And of course, you can't say anything about anything to do with the weather patterns or anything like that. And also that other thing that screwed all our lives up for about 2 years. Any word, any of those things is disinformation. Really can't say anything about the Israeli people. That'd be disinformation. But this particular ethnic group that I'm 1/32ths, which I think's about 3.6% of, it's yeah, you can absolutely let your head go on conspiracy theories. My gosh, we have more conspiracy theories about us than the people in Israel have ever had. And some of them are just absolutely batshit crazy. Strangely enough, even though it's a very small amount of blood in me, it's I'm holding some of the traits, the genetic traits. It's very distinctive genetically to the point that if you get a DNA test of any, these 23andMe and all this sort of ancestry, blah, blah, all that, it stands out like a fucking sore toe, and they can pick it out individually and give you like a percentage of it. And it's like so definitive to be able to see it genetically that they don't just sort of say, oh, well, it's this region of the world round about. They can say this exact ethnic group because it's so brutally obvious in a DNA test. Me and my sister still hold traits of it, which are really shown in our blood types. So, but even physically, I've got some of it. And in the case of my sister, due to her blood type, she might have even got an extra vertebrae. I shit you not. Some people with these genes have an extra vertebrae. And I'll talk about some of the conspiracy theories, but my gosh, it is lizard people crackpot bullshit on some of the origins of these people, because they were a group that was essentially found by the Roman army that sort of they don't know any history of prior to the Roman army finding them. And they first come along when they were helping out the Moroccans or the Libyans or something like that. They assisted them in a fight against the and they're pretty good at fighting a few battles and having a rebel movement that is similar to the IRA that only officially ended in 2018. Some of you might know enough about history to know who I'm talking about, but yeah, quite intriguing to find out all this stuff. So my sister's getting a DNA test done. She's sent off for it already, and of course that'll probably confirm what we've been led to believe. But yeah, the signs are there. So yeah, that was interesting. Anyway, I might go ahead and make some sauerkraut in due course, but there's a lot of videos and bits and pieces on this, and my jam making expedition was semi-successful. I like to put it like that. It didn't sit very stiff, but there's some aspects of it that sort of really did work quite well, and now I've got about like whole ton of jars, like, oh god damn, about 9 jars of this shit that the lids haven't sealed on. So I'm eating a lot of plum jam. I mean, there's probably a little bit too much sugar in it, but by hell, it's good jam. It's brilliant. Taste wise, bit runny on it, but Anyway, we got a few things right and we got a few things wrong. Well, we got one thing wrong and we got everything else right, actually. That's the best way I like to look at it. But, as usual, every time you make something for the first time, you're liable to screw it up. And so I might go through all the screen stuff of it and give a Jordan Peterson impersonation of how he always talks and the phrases he uses on me and my last-minute ideals to turn a bunch of plums into jam with not enough research, and her sister who's only done it twice in the last 10 years, and she all sort of just about went sideways, but we kind of saved it. So yeah.